Okay, let's continue with part 2 of Unit 8. So let's skip the listening page and let's go to the reading. Let's do the reading together, and then we will answer some questions about it. Okay, so let's read. Local students start community garden. All right. So you guys just listen. Okay. For more than 20 years, this block of North Street has been empty with no buildings, no trees, and lots of garbage and junk. But 2 City College students are working to change this vacant lot. Okay, vacant lot just means empty, right? Empty lot. Into a peaceful green community vegetable garden. Dan Choi and Andy Sosa, both biology majors, got the idea for the garden after the neighborhood's only supermarket closed down. Now the nearest place for fresh vegetables is 3 miles away, says Choi. But if we grow our own food, we wouldn't have to go so far. Choi and Sosa hope the garden will have other benefits for this low-income neighborhood, where many people are out of work and there aren't many services like hospitals or public transportation. For one thing, a garden would look better than a vacant lot. It also gives people a meeting place to talk about local issues or just hang out, says Sosa. Also, if people in the community spent more time outside together with their neighbors, the crime rate might get better, says Choi. Gardening is also a great way to teach children about the environment and about healthy eating. Kids wouldn't eat so much junk food if they knew how bad it was. So far, Choi and Sosa have gotten permission for the garden from the owner of the lot, and have started working with neighborhood residents to clear away the garbage. They are also trying to raise money for a fence, tomato plants, and other supplies. If we had more money, we could grow more food and do more good, says Sosa. Okay, so they're making the garden and growing vegetables from this empty lot, right? They cleaned all the garbage and junk, and made a place where people can come together and garden and grow healthy food. Okay, so that's what Dan Choi and Andy Sosa started, right? They started a community garden. Okay, so for part 3, how will the garden help the neighborhood? Let's select all the benefits the article mentions. Okay, let's check all the benefits. Okay, so the first one we can check is people can get fresh vegetables in the neighborhood. Okay. And also, the garden will look better than a vacant lot. Okay, and also people in the area will have a meeting place, and the crime rate might improve. Okay, so those are all the benefits from this community garden. All right, so for the last page, for Unit 8, we'll do the speaking page. Okay, where do you belong? Okay, we'll start with part 1, pair work. So if you can, please talk to a partner about this. So discuss the advantages and disadvantages of living in the city, okay, and living in the suburbs, okay. So what do you think? What are the good things of living in the city, okay, and the good things about the suburbs, and also the bad things of living in the city or the suburbs? Okay, so what could you do or not do in each one? And what would you like or not like in each one? Okay, so what do you think? So in the city, maybe you can enjoy the nightlife more and have more access to public transportation. But maybe there's things that you could not do, like enjoy nature or a beautiful forest or parks. Some cities don't have the nice natural places, right? Okay, and what would you like or not like in each one? Okay. So I guess in the city I would like the shopping, right, and the restaurants and the nightlife. But maybe I don't like the crowds, how crowded it is, and the traffic, and sometimes the air quality is bad. Okay, and in the suburbs, I would like the peacefulness, the quiet, okay, maybe fresh air, But I would not like that perhaps it can be boring, right? Not much nightlife, and you have to drive everywhere because usually things are not close to the neighborhoods. Okay, so what about you? Can you answer both of those questions and talk with your partner? All right. And finally, for part 2, okay, so what would you do if you could improve your neighborhood or hometown? Can you come up with 5 proposals, 5 things that you could change your area with? Okay, so maybe proposal 1, build a subway, here in Yeongwon-dong. Okay, create a park where people can enjoy nature and get fresh air. Okay, maybe build a shopping mall. Build a hospital. And proposal 5, create a swimming pool. Okay, so if my neighborhood had a nice, beautiful park, everyone would feel happy and the community could be more together. Okay, so please give me 5 proposals that you would do for Yeongwon-dong or Daejeon, right, to improve it, to make it better. Right, so please think about that and talk with your partner if you can. And after you finish, we will check your answers for the homework, for the workbook. My life would be great. Okay, we'll start with the vocabulary first. Okay, you guys, check your answers. Okay, so vocabulary part 1, number 2. The cost of living was so much lower when I was a child. Okay, number 3. There was a lot to see, but the air quality in the city is terrible. Okay, 4, I want to know the housing prices for those huge homes on the beach. 5, I want a good education for my children, and the school system here is great. 6, I heard the job market will be better next year. Okay, part 2, let's match the housing ads with the words to complete the sentences. Okay, so the first one's a 2-bedroom apartment near Main Street. Okay, so that would be on a quiet street away from the rush hour traffic. Okay, second one, 1-bedroom apartment in a fun neighborhood that's great for young adults. Lots of things to do after dark, near restaurants and nightlife. Small 3-bedroom house in the suburbs. Lots of stores in the nearby mall for great shopping. 2-bedroom apartment near different kinds of public transportation. Great for people who take the train or bus to work. Okay, we'll do page 45. Okay, let's start with the language practice first. Okay, so part 1, number 2. If Nick had been in a better school system, he would like going to school. If there weren't so many cars on the road, the air quality wouldn't be so bad. 4, what would you do if you had $1 million? We would go out more if the crime rate wasn't so high. We wouldn't stay up so late if the nightlife weren't so great. Okay. Part 2, number 2. If the housing prices were lower, Ken would buy a house. We would sell more paintings if the art scene were better. If there weren't so many old cars on the streets, the air would be cleaner. I would take the bus if the public transportation system were cheaper. If you could improve the public parks, what would you do? Okay. And then for part 3, just answer with your own ideas. Okay, what do you think? Okay, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house for my family. If I saw a $100 bill on the ground, okay, I would pick it up and go to a nice restaurant. If I had $1 million, okay, I would buy a sailboat and sail around the world. If I were the president, okay, I would make universities free or less money, okay? Especially in the US, universities are very expensive. Okay. If I saw a famous actor, okay, I would ask for his autograph. If I could live anywhere I wanted, okay, I would live on a nice island in the Philippines. Okay. So, answer for you guys, right? Tell me what you think, your own ideas. All right, and then for the last page, let's take a look at part 4. Okay, correct the sentences. Okay, so number 2, if he lived closer to a shopping mall, he would spend money on clothes. If we bought a house, we wouldn't have to pay rent. She would not be bored if she were part of the art scene. What would you do if you had the power to change the school system? If you owned a company, how could you improve the job market? Okay, part 5. Start with number 1. Well, if I were the mayor, I think I would clean up the public parks. I wouldn't let the housing prices get so high. The cost of living is already too much, and I would create new jobs to improve the job market. Education is important, so I would give more money to the school system. Most of all, I wouldn't forget how hard people work for a living. People are tired of having no money. Okay, and then for paragraph 6, part 6, just write a similar paragraph to part 5, right? Tell me the things you would or wouldn't do if you were the mayor, right? Just something similar to part 5. What would you do if you were the city leader, the mayor? Okay? All right, so that's it for Unit 8. If you guys have any questions about the test or Unit 8, please email me. Thank you.